Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Hard Copy. I just recently saw a video with Rick Beato about the top 20 strangest guitar solos ever, and it kind of made me wonder because I don't hear very many guitar solos done nowadays. Not people doing seat of the pants kind of work where they just kind of they just pick up a guitar and just start wailing away. Because what happens usually is nowadays everybody sounds like everybody else. So when someone says they're gonna do some shredding or if you're gonna do a solo, their solo or their shredding sounds like every other popular guitar player in the world. I mean, someone they've heard before. Even John Mayer, Joe Bonamassa, and the rest of them, they, their music sounds exactly the same. So in a second here, you're gonna get a chance to hear me just wailing away on an acoustic guitar. And I'm wondering, do I fit in with these strange guitar players, or am I just fooling myself? Now, my form of guitar playing is going to surprise you because I don't know how to play the guitar. yeah. I don't know how to play the harmonica either, but I make music with the harmonica and I make music with the guitar. But listen up and tell me what you think. And now my form of guitar playing is I know a few chords and I know I can feel the fretboard and I play by ear mostly. Two things I have in my guitar playing. Uh, Playing by ear, listening for the notes rather than trying to find them on fretboard and keeping in the same pattern with my fingers. I have certain patterns I run through with my fingers and I hold them on the fretboard, and there's certain pick patterns, finger style patterns I use in order to create the different sounds. And then when something comes out of discord, I play in and out of that discordant tone with something called syncopation. So I have pattern matching and syncopation. Syncopation is when if you find a pattern and you can replicate that pattern, then you do that because it creates a memory node. If you do something 3 or 4 times, and people consider that music. If you do it one time with three nice, nicely played notes or chords, then people will recognize that. But if you do something weird with the guitar where it's discordant, then you have to do it in a replication pattern, and you have to do it fast enough to create syncopation. And that syncopation is what you hear, and that is what, when I'm playing the guitar, that you will consider to be music. And that's what I consider to be music because I hear it and I play it. Now, syncopation is something that on YouTube you're gonna hear nothing about. I think I've heard in the last 5 years, I've heard one guitar tutor or one of these guys that teaches you how to play chords and stuff, electric guitar, say the word syncopation one time in 5 years. So it's not something that's taught by your music teacher, your guitar teacher, or anything like that. When you go to music school, they don't teach you about syncopation because syncopation is what Jimi Hendrix lived off of. Jimi Hendrix was not the best guitar player. He had no idea what the fuck he was doing. If I was gonna consider uh, guitar players versus one versus the other, now I would say that Peter Frampton, one of my idols, is better than Jimi Hendrix. But Jimi Hendrix knew how to use syncopation, to use those patterns and match them up together to create a sound that was so unique to just Jimi Hendrix. And that's why people have it so hard to play like Jimi Hendrix, because he's not playing strict note for note, chord for chord music. There's no writing down what he does. Jimi Hendrix was doing to a guitar what a lot of the old masters in the Renaissance were doing when they were using the piano. People like Scott Joplin. Scott Joplin, he never really played music. He played syncopation. And that syncopation is what made Scott Joplin's music sound so eclectic and strange that people are like, oh, dun 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 dun. I mean, there's no real melody to the Boxer or any of the other songs that Scott Joplin created. There's just syncopation and a lot of ear listening because if you ever watch any of the old stuff, if you ever get a chance to watch some of the really older stuff, a lot of piano players started copying Scott Joplin right into the 40s and 50s, and they became famous by using syncopation. A lot of Zydeco music makers use syncopation. I mean, you can't really make music with a shovel, a saw, and a washboard, but they use syncopation in order to create a sound, a pattern match that you consider to be music. And it sounds good. It sounds different. It sounds unique. And this is what's missing because there's so many of you out there that have MIDI players. Now, I I'm gonna, because what I'm gonna do in the next few weeks is I'm going to be taking some music that I've heard that's been made by a MIDI player, and then I'm gonna get on my guitar and replicate that sound to show you that Yes, you only need your voice and a guitar to play music. You don't need that MIDI player. You don't need that audio console. You just need to have a guitar, your voice, and if you can't sing, then shred the guitar. Because you can make a guitar talk. I've heard Jeff Beck a few times. Jeff Beck has used this weird machine, and he has a thing where he can actually make his guitar talk. What the hell? And when he does that, he's using syncopation to create these vocal. He's making a guitar sound like these like when you sing or when you cough or something like that. Jeff Beck is like mom, 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 and he creates that. He starts getting into that syncopation and everything else, and then you say, "Whoa, that was different." And then you see why it's so hard for a lot of these guys out there to say, "Hey, that sounds really good," but damn, how do you play that? Well, it's not being played like you learn how to play the guitar. It's being played as a listener. It's being played as a artist, a painter, someone else. Yeah, why did he put blue on that when it doesn't really it's not really blue. You know, the ocean's not pink, but someone painted a pink ocean. This is called artistry, creativity. And this is what is hard copy this channel is all about. It's all about trying to show you and maybe teach you that we don't have to be bored with your goddamn MIDI machines and overproduce music using the exact same generic traps and beats and everything else in the background. That the world can be made better, the music world can be made better just by you opening up your mind to doing the bad stuff. You don't have to use auto tune. You don't have to use pitch correction. You don't have to do any of this making things perfect stuff. Make it badly. Bob Dylan could not sing. He could barely play the guitar. He was a songwriter more than anything else. But he became famous, and people go like, "Yeah, I want to play like Bob Dylan and everything else." But the man could not sing, and his guitar playing was, you know what? Elvis Presley could play the guitar. He could play the guitar better than Bob Dylan ever could. And Elvis was a singer. So that's going to be it for this time. Have a good night.